Hey folks, it's Jim. I'm going to do a video. I think there's a global smackdown coming on China, so that's what this video is going to be about. Let me open with a disclaimer. This video is not economics advice, financial advice, or medical advice of any kind. You and you alone are responsible to seek out the professional advice that is right for you with regards to all the affairs of your life. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Those are my disclaimers. Okay, what I'm seeing out there now is a global coalition coming against China. It's a global coalition. And this includes Australia, Japan, India. India's actually, Modi is kind of the centerpiece of the whole thing. The United States. Now Russia, just the other day, was supposed to deliver a missile defense system to China. Turned around and delivered it to India. China is very upset about that, or you know what I mean? It's like Putin just smacked Xi Jinping in the face. And India is a rival of China. So China has really been smacked down by this move by Putin, okay? Also, Putin just took over a territory in Africa through the vacuum. There was no military action or anything like that by China or Russia, but what it was a vacuum left behind by a regime change. Putin moved right in and took the place of China behind the regime change. So, and I'm also hearing ports around the world. It seems like one every 2 weeks a different port is tearing up a contract with China, seizing back their port, and then also defaulting on the debt. Okay, so start looking into all of this for yourself. It's just like all of a sudden the whole globe has decided to go against China. Now I have no intelligence reports on why this is happening, other than China's been a bully of late in the South China Sea, Indo-Pacific, and other places. And I think nations have just had enough. And now they're going to band together and say, you know, enough is enough. We also have a mass exodus of corporations going on, and this is a global smackdown. I mean, this is not just one or two nations. This is a global smackdown. I'm hearing even small countries not even fearing China anymore. And I would assume that they're going to start just defaulting on Chinese debt left and right, okay? And some small countries have even brought in Japan to take over high-speed rail projects due to faulty builds by China. So they're asking Japan to come in, fix the bill, or fix the rails, and also take over the contracts. So, and I believe that's in 2 countries. So we have this huge move away from China for whatever reason. And China was already under some economic stress, just like every nation in the world with COVID. However, this coalition, it was 100 nations about 2 weeks ago when I was going to do this video, when I sold my SLE. Now it's like 120. It could go as high as 150 before the election. I mean, this is a global smackdown of China. And how this is going to play out, I don't know. But the reason why I'm doing this video is even Huawei is being basically destroyed. It's being gutted by lack of chips. Taiwan's not sending them the chips even for the phones, the chips they use in their phone. China's really bent about this. Okay, there are a lot of different economic stressors coming on China all at once, and it's not just the mass exodus of corporations. Companies ordering their corporations out of China. Okay, like you have so much time to get out. After that, you're on your own. You know what I mean? And something else. Huawei is finished. Okay, and a technology called O-RAN, capital O dash capital R-A-N, is developed by Japan. It seems to be lower cost, more versatile, and adaptable. And apparently that's going to be the 5G going forward. Multiple corporations globally throughout Europe, America, Japan, and multiple nations, South Korea and others, have agreed this is better. They feel more secure being able to install this, and they can install their own security networks. So, firewalls and all of that. So this ORAN apparently is going to take over for Huawei. I think that company is finished, okay, because it was a global expansionist company, and if nobody's going to accept its product, that's pretty much over. And Japan, the world has asked America to invest and fund the build out of ORAN to begin, okay? So how that's going to work out, I don't know. We'll see going forward. But yeah, this is big, folks. I want you to get involved and start paying attention to this because there could be severe repercussions. Now, the U.S. Bondholders Association has asked for a direct debt swap from U.S. debt and Chinese debt. In other words, we kind of hold a little more of their debt than they hold of our debt. But the USBA wants the $1 trillion swap. So they want that $1 trillion U.S. debt back here for them to invest in. They don't want the Chinese debt. They want it out of the U.S. So that's huge. College endowments have been told to start seriously considering divesting of China. When it gets to this level, folks, something's going on. When we have this many nations coming against one country, I haven't seen this since Nazi Germany, really. I mean, when you think about it, how fast this is taking place. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen the globe flip on one country this fast. So there's got to be some kind of intelligence under the surface, either about COVID or something else, or China's bullying is just, their arrogance has overstepped its bounds by far. And nations are now just saying forget it. And they're openly defiant, even small countries, because once they get together, knowing that we have Australia, India, Japan, and the United States, and now it looks like Russia supporting this SmackDown. They're like, what are you going to do, China? We're not paying you our debt. And I think you're going to see this mass default going forward on Chinese debt. Okay, so their Belt and Road Initiative, I believe, is going to come to a conclusion rather quickly. Also, there's just a whole lot of talk out there. Please go look up all of this stuff. Now, why am I doing this video on a prepper channel? You know I'm not political. I don't get into politics. But here's the COVID shortages may be minuscule compared to China just shutting its doors from too many nations, defaulting on debt, coming against it, mass exodus of corporations, so on and so forth. Or economically, China could collapse, in which case, boom, there is a possibility of 1.5 billion people in China revolting against the CCP, okay? The next thing is, the CCP, I believe, has come under direct scrutiny from the globe because of some of the moves it made during COVID, its aggression, it's several things, okay? So, my point being, here's what I'm suggesting to everybody, and this is the point of this whole video. Get in the best shape of your life right now. Get off as many medications as you can, because China makes 50% of the global medications right now, or they're involved with them somehow. If there are severe supply chain shortages, I would want to be as, exposed as little as possible to a possible supply chain shortage, okay? Also, economically, what are you exposed to? You know what I mean? This isn't economics advice or medical advice of any kind. Seek out the professionals that are right for you, your doctors, clinicians, dietitians, and financial advisors, okay? This is not advice of any kind. But these are the things I would do to start preparing, okay? This could lead to a implosion of the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP in China. They could lose control of that 1.5 billion people population, okay? And it could be that it could affect all of us globally. You can't transition from having your manufacturing in one country and then just move everything home, turn the lights on, and start producing. It doesn't work that way, especially with technical things, right? Like medications or, spare parts for machinery, so on and so forth. This takes time to ramp up and get something back online, okay? Like a steel plant. You can't just shut it down, fire it up the next day and be making steel. It doesn't work that way, right? Most of you know this. So if the CCP does come under too much pressure and loses control and there's some sort of revolution in China, this could affect us all and make the shortages during COVID look like nothing, okay? So my suggestion is get prepared. There's many other things I'm going to continue on this video, but I would suggest that you go back and get prepared. We got prepared for COVID. We knew in January it was coming. If you watch my channel and all, it meant the hundreds and thousands of others who were warning America, get ready, this is coming, right? If you had any common sense, you knew this was coming, okay? So you got prepared, you got through it, not a big deal, right? Hopefully, I hope you weren't affected by this virus, okay? So I suggest we start doing the same thing right now. There is no way to tell if China gets under this much pressure with this much of a coalition against it, how it might react from within, or could the CCP lose total control and there be chaos in China and it just collapse or implode. Okay, so the CCP could react poorly, or the people of China could revolt during a collapse, right? Okay, and I'll get into all the implications of what this might lead to. I am definitely on the path of thinking that China is in big trouble. The CCP of China is in big trouble if it doesn't change its ways. It's starting to make some concessions. They just made the largest purchase of oil ever from the United States. Okay, so one single contract, and they just bought a massive bunch of soybeans. They just bought a bunch of corn. There's already hunger in China. They're having to scurry to get food into China because of all the flooding and other things, a lot of external issues. But this could prime that population to possibly start behaving poorly. And that's 1.5 billion people. I mean, there is nothing that could control that, certainly not the Chinese Communist Party. The other thing is they spend 30% of their budget on population control. So things might not be all that stable within the walls of China anyway, and I'm hearing dissension against Xi Jinping and certain factions of the Communist Party anyway right now, okay? So, because they did not walk softly and bide their time. That was the CCP's strategy. They got aggressive, arrogant, and offended many global leaders, okay? So, with all this in mind, I'm going to continue on this series. I'm going to do another video coming up, but be aware of all these things. Look all this information up for yourself. Go out and do your own homework, your own research, and just see what's really going on. This coalition is basically the globe against China. I mean, there may be 20 or 30 countries that are still going to be loyal to China when this is all over. This may go as high as 200 nations against China. The other thing is, too, there's a possibility that many nations want reparations from China for COVID-19. I think there's some kind of confirmational intelligence out there that China maybe not made the virus, but there's some speculating that they did. Then it got leaked. Then they covered it up. Then they also withheld PPE, and not only that, bought all the PPE around the world, not just what they were making, but even supplies from the world, and hoarded it prior to this. Now, I can't confirm any of this. This is just what I've read, what I've seen. China may get smacked down, I mean, like we've never seen since the Nazis, okay? So know and be aware of this. Get out there, do your homework, do your research, pay attention to this. I know there's a lot of political crap going on. I'm not even paying attention. I don't care. You know what I mean? But this is huge. It could potentially affect us all in a big, big way. So know about that. And the next video is going to be more on the economic perspectives of a lot of this. Jim out.